Yo. DRG, not really. It's alright, but it's just not really my thing. Too repetitive. Yo. Well, we got our other PC back. $200 later. Unfortunate charges. Yeah, it's back. It was the power supply. So, $200. Power supply is installed. Everything is good. I plugged it in. It's working. Pretty cringe, but I mean, yeah, $200. Unfortunately, in this economy, that's not good. So, oh, it was like 160. Like 160, 170 after tax. So, we weren't even able to finish the game. Yeah, it's not the worst scenario, but like, you know, it is what it is, I guess. I didn't want to pull this PC and stream League on it. Well, the warranty would take upwards of a month to come in. This is like an express repair, and I can't wait a fucking month, right? If I work online 24/7, there's no chance. So, I mean, the guy was pretty nice. I'm just glad I have it back, and I'm not going to be finishing Dead Space. I'm too much of a pussy. Or you know what? If I do finish it, I'm going to put all the graphics down to 0, and we're going to watch fucking Play-Doh necromorphs walk across the screen. Because I am too scared that something will happen again. Now I'm, like, infinitely paranoid. Like, that PC is going off whenever I'm not using it. I'm not playing any crazy games. Like, not anytime soon. That was miserable. Very miserable. I'm fucking turbo. Turbo, delulude. I mean, the game is good. It was good when I played it. I wish I could finish it, but again, I don't think I will. Not anytime soon. I don't really have the time or the resources to keep going back in and be like, hey, my power supply's dead again. It's like, yeah. So tomorrow we are back to the grind. We're going to stream some League. And today we're just going to chill with Warhammer. Yeah, I do. You know, that's one of the things I'd asked him, like, is it wise to plug it into a wall or a surge protector? And he's like, 100% surge protector. No reason to plug it into the wall. Especially a PC. Yeah, well, for all we know, I plugged it in, we checked it out.
We need to rebuild Toby's war chest so he can bounce back. That power supply is going into the Book of Grudges.
True, you're not wrong. Avitas, thank you, buddy. You're not wrong, brother. That's this week's food, power supply. It's gonna make me cry. I wonder if I'm gonna die. I don't want to wear, just the fucking... Yeah, I got it back. $160. 70-ish. Power supply went kaput. And, it's either wait upwards of a month for the return, or I can get it back in like a day. No, they don't. Well, I mean, maybe they do, but I have no fucking idea. I don't think this place has surge protectors in the walls. I don't think they do. I finally beat a very hard dwarf campaign. How long did that shit take? You play Thorgrim? Thorgrim, Grudge Bearer. Fucking hot in here, man. I think if we do any more scary games, I need to start out small. I'm like, again, mortified to even fucking play a game that looks good. For whatever reason, maybe it was the power supply, like, you know, because the game was so demanding, or whatever it may be. I don't know. But for, like, the next few horror games, I don't think there'll be anything worth money. We're talking those, cheapo indie games. Even less stress on the PC than fucking League of Legends. That's what I want. I am in it for the long haul with that piece of shit PC. I hope it doesn't. Hey, I've got no idea. I mean, I even asked about that. I'm like, would it be wise to kind of upgrade to like an 1,000-watt PSU? And he's like, nah, you're good at 850. Maybe it was just straight up faulty. It may have literally just been faulty. No, I don't play console games. Nah, it's like, nah. To me, that's a waste. To me, console gaming is the biggest waste of money. I've already got a PC, I don't need a console. PCs are kind of like the ultimate thing. The TV, it's a console, it's music, it's just everything. Same thing with your phone. The only reason you'd ever get a console is for, like, console exclusives. And I feel like not many people like those. At least that's how I am. Like, I moved on long ago from playing games like that. That is too much, good sir, too much. Did you guys see that new weird fucking YouTube thumbnail of Gangplank with the anal beads? God bless. God bless. What an absolute work of art. It was vile. No, you liked it, dude. It was perfectly crafted for a G-rated audience. Perfectly crafted. Hmm. One sec. Where's the fucking bits? Let me just see this. Try these two. Please, I mean, if you can ever get it on PC, I imagine you'd want to play games on PC instead of console, right? I feel like the PC is just so convenient compared to what people go through on console. Every time I see funny people do Warhammer stuff, it's so funny. It looks like you're soldering or fixing watches. I mean, similar, like, level of detail, maybe? It's all just intricate, like, scraping. Intricate, slow scraping. Got a Switch for Animal Crossing, played it nonstop for a month and ain't touched it since. Yeah, that's Ivana. She's like, I want the Switch. I'm gonna buy myself a Switch. And then she gets the Switch and it's like, wow, Animal Crossing is so fun. I love it. And then you never fucking go back to it. It serves one purpose, and it's the FOMO game, and then you're done. What an absolute waste of money. Yeah, I'm okay. Thankfully, I don't fall for the FOMO. But then again, I mean, I'm not really big into Nintendo anyways, so like... Or for that matter, most, like, Microsoft, Sony... I don't know, there's just nothing that they produce that I kind of care about. It's like the last time I was a fan was maybe like Halo 3, Gears of War, stuff like that, maybe. Since those days and getting a laptop and then a PC, I've never gone back. Hell no. Jesus Christ. I like inhaled a fucking piece of air. What the fuck? Use a PC for what? I like literally inhaled a piece of air. I don't even know what that was. I don't know what it was. It's getting me. What the fuck? Wish there was a new AVP game. Yeah, that'd be cool. But like with Marines. Because you need the Marines. Asymmetrical multiplayer is so cool. Unless it's League of Legends. Like, AVP, like 2006 AVP, I was a pro in that game. That's where that's my claim to fame. I was the best Marine player in the world. Not saying much, but I was. Do. You know, people still play that game online. 2006 AVP, people still do lobbies on PC. I mean, PC is fixed. About 160, 70. There's a new PSU. Everything's hooked up. Everything's good. Tomorrow we stream. We try to stream. Nope. I'm not playing Dead Space. I don't trust it. Whatever happened, it fucked up everything, and I'm not going through that again. Oh, no, brother. I gotta warm up to that idea. We're basically done Dead Space for a bit. Whatever that was, League of Legends won't cause it, I'll tell you. Cheap games, but no power into the PC. I mean, we'll finish it another time, unless I just want to drop all the graphics to 0, which I might do. In that case, maybe. Hmm. I mean, it was good. Played it yesterday, it was really good. It wasn't, like, perfect, but it was very good for what it was. It's like an 8.59. 9.5. Certain spots were a little shaky, a little bit janky, but, like, overall, it was pretty good. think it was more so like minor presentation things. Things that just didn't really line up, or they kind of like lagged out or looked weird. That's a lot coming from that game, because that game looks really fucking good, but... Bog you, buddy. Are you the kind of person to model and make the whole army before you paint them? Yes. I have to do everything in stages. That's just how my brain works. I'd like to see everything converted, glued, based, sub-assembled, whatever it may be. I don't like painting in between because it takes away from finishing things. Like, I will build everything. I will build the bases. I'll do the conversions. And then what I'll start doing is just one-offs. I'll just start, like, test painting minis and be like, okay, we're painting a Dwarf Warrior today. Okay, we're painting a Dwarf Quarreler. Okay, we're painting a Longbeard, whatever it may be. I will literally just start painting 10 to 20 things at once until I'm satisfied with, like, at least one or two of them, and then I'll write that down, take it to the army, and kind of go from there. That's what I want to do. Post the Dwarf Battle Box and is going to use the Thunderers Quarrelers as Fusiliers. I mean, that's literally what I was doing in my AOS army. What? That's literally what I was doing. I was doing that. And I had the whole anvil conversion for, like, the Hurricanum. I was in the middle of that. And they changed everything. And now the Hurricanum's fucking useless. At least with, I was doing Cities of Sigmar as a 2,000 point army, but I was going to be doing Spearhead as the Caradron. So like this. AOS Spearhead, Admiral, Arcanaut Company, Frigate, Skywardens. Yeah. Just as like a very quick conversion thing. I've already got the parts, so like why not? The only thing I have to figure out is how to do the Frigate. Because I do want the air balloon portion, not like the Aether chemistry ball sack thing portion, you know? Yeah. I mean, it's not really, it's more of like a rehash of, have you seen them? I don't really know if they came to fruition. They were the dwarf mount in Age of Reckoning. Have you not seen that game? It's beautiful. Obscure potential unit from Age of Reckoning. I don't know if this was like, again, it came to fruition, but that's like, it's literally the gyrocopter blade with like a little mini engine, right? Yeah, that's what it is. It's great. These things just make themselves, you know, or someone makes it. That's really cool. I mean, that's like straight out of the fucking Engineers Guild, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if they did try this and it's like, oh, it failed. Okay, iteration 50 down like, you know, 500 centuries, whatever it may be, just some ridiculous number. So, yeah, it's cool. Well, I don't know, it's like a jetpack. It's like a little dwarven jetpack, you know? I don't know if you've seen the Skywardens for like Age of Sigmar, but it's genuinely just a rehashed version of this. But a little bit more, it's not as cool. It makes more sense for, like, the Age of Sigmar, but I love the practicality of, like, it's a literal fucking blade, and it's just propelling you along, you know? Like, that's cool. Of course, there's a thruster, and, you know, people did convert these. I believe, the hardest thing to do would maybe be to come up with, like, a backpack, because you can, 6 foot. The thruster / engine bit, I remember people using... Or rather, I was going to use... It's the horn bit from the Dwarf Warriors. They get, like, this big, blocky horn. Do people already make some? Oh, those are 3D prints. That don't really count. The number one thing that I like doing is creating things from GW kits. Like, 3D printing isn't cheating, but it's more so you're just basically creating your own original stuff. Like, you can make whatever you want, and that's amazing for that, but, like, I like looking at kits and figuring out, okay, I can use this, I can use that. I can replicate it without having to, like, print things or even model things. That was my idea for any of my conversions outside of, like, maybe the big anvil. Because the anvil is just, there's nothing like it. I can't name anything that looks like that. Jump packs. So this would essentially be... I'm thinking not really a jump pack. You would want to make them look different. Dwarves typically do make... I mean, eventually when the blueprints are down and, like, it's very much set in stone, you know, it can be produced consistently, it's safe, it's been approved by the Engineers Guild, then yes, it will be made to those exact standards, but my idea for these is that it's different engineers kind of, like, putting their own spin on it, kind of like different iterations, you know? Just like what the Thunderers do with their handguns, where they all kind of tweak them to be unique to their wielder, right? That's the idea with this, at least the concept of, like, what I'm doing with the Spearhead box. It's only a one-off. I'm not doing a full army of this because it would be way too much. Yeah, so, like, each engine would be different. The blades would kind of be the same. Post it in Discord in the section stream-related. Single engine bits for the Sanguinary Guard. Single engine bits? What? Is it just the Sanguinary Guard? That's too big. That's a little bit too big, I can tell. I literally was going to do this. Let me show you what works literally perfectly. You can have it exact size. Do I have Dwarf Warriors? Let me show you. Yeah, it's a little bit too big. So... what the fuck is on my floor? So if you look at these... these are the Dwarf Warrior bits, right? You want a thruster. These are readily available because they give you like 50 per box. Right there. Right? If you've got a Dwarf Warrior, check the size comparison to, like, the image to the horn, you know? Pretty easy to do. I mean, you could shave down literally everything and have this kind of in the middle. Yeah. Like, you need to chop it up and, like, make it look a bit different, obviously, but, like, the propeller would probably be through here. This could be one continuous piece, and then maybe you could make some, like, gyrocopter bits. I think gyrocopter bits, actually, you know what they did? I mean, if you really wanted to cannibalize gyrocopters, they're not the cheapest kit. These little engine bits, right? You don't have to make them look perfect, but just to kind of get the point across, you know, you could have like this strapped to his back. Kind of something like that, maybe. Right? And then it goes up over his head, and then there's the propeller, and then the thrusters below there. Like, yeah, you could do anything. I like, it's conceptual shit. You'd have to cut the fuck out of, like, a few things, but it could work. Yeah, I'll check Discord, though, sorry. Sanguinary bits. You can buy the single jump packs off eBay, yeah. The thing is, again, I think it's too big. It doesn't have to be to, like, this specification, but I think the size of it makes the most sense. Because if you put the big thruster from, like, the Sanguinary Guard, it would basically take up the entirety of, like, his back, almost, you know? Because these dwarves aren't very big. Like, these are pretty tiny. Either way, though, I mean, if I could ever get bit storage, I think I sold a lot of it. Or if I have one sitting in a garage somewhere, that'd be great, but I could use a little bit of bit storage. I'm more fantasy for sure. I used to be into 40k a lot more, but not really as much. Not as much. Unfortunately. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just base them off the profile of, like, whatever you decide to convert, whatever you decide to make, you just need to represent that in the mini. It doesn't need to look like the mini, it just needs to resemble, like, the options. So as an example, if your dwarf has, like, a cutlass, or if your dwarf has a hand weapon and a pistol, the miniature you're making needs to resemble that. It needs to have a hand weapon and, like, a gun, a crossbow. It needs to be that, in my opinion. Kind of keeps the same silhouette, loadout. It's, like, recognizable, you know? Yeah, Caradron are really cringe. That's why I'm... Not exactly why I'm going to play them, but, like, thematically, they're the most fun to convert. There's almost no fun in converting a Fireslayer army. Cities would be nice, but using a lot of the older dwarf minis, you can do it, but you're kind of, like, gated. You're pretty gated. One of the biggest combos back in the day was having, like, Iron Drakes, and it was an Iron Drake, a Runesmith, and the Hurricanum. And that combo is long dead now, but it was kind of, like, thematically very striking, because you had this big dwarven centerpiece. You know, you can make the Hurricanum look whatever way you want, and the biggest unit in that army was the Hurricanum. And castled up around it was just a bunch of shooting, right? So, thematically, you could do a bunch of stuff with Age of Sigmar, but it's really, like, how limited you are with kits, and the problem with converting things is sometimes the rules change and those things are gone. So everything you converted to be like a proxy will no longer be relevant. Which is where I'm at with Cities of Sigmar. That's kind of why I'm not really working on AOS anymore, outside of Spearhead. The one-off Spearhead, like, conversion venture, it's better than a 2,000-point army. A 2,000-point army that suddenly, overnight, is just half gone doesn't sound very good. And they're really waiting to just phase out cities completely from, like, a lot of the older fantasy kits. So if you want to play dwarves and cities, you're just kind of on a timer. You are on an absolute timer. They will eventually redo the city's dwarves in Age of Sigmar aesthetic, and you're going to lose everything. All of the units, the aesthetic, everything will be changed, and if they're on circle bases, well, that's not very good. So instead of that stuff, we're just doing fantasy. Slayer dwarves fly down with double axes for quick close gun. Yeah. I mean, hey, you can make whatever you want, man. There's a lot of shit you can do out there. People sell bits 24/7. You can do anything you want. I think I recently spent like 50 bucks on bits. Yeah, people put Skaven on squares. People put Grombrindle on square, you know? Like the new commemorative one. Which I've yet to get, and I probably won't get. Because he's going to be around on eBay forever, so I'm just like, yeah, when I really need him, when I'm going to work on them, sure. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I mean, again, it's on the list of things to do. I'm essentially torn between slow burning a 2,000-point army or speed burning a spearhead to play the game. I really wanted to get the Giant Slayer and Grombrindle. What's the Giant Slayer? You talking about the old Slayer models? Well, Slayers are kind of dog shit. Yeah, they're pretty dog shit. The Doomseekers seem pretty good. The Doomseekers are like, I don't know, 50 points for 3 or something. And you get victory points if they die. If they don't die, the enemy gets victory points. Something like that. There was a nice figure in plastic of a Slayer Lord. They did one Dragon Slayer. Air quote Dragon Slayer. This piece of shit. This guy from 8th edition. This was the laziest, like, repackage I've ever seen. For some reason, they didn't re-release this guy, and he's great. Oh, you know what? They don't have to. I think he's still in the store. This guy was, they basically made this as a one-off Slayer mini. The only plastic Slayer to, like, almost ever exist in Old World or Fantasy. And, once Fantasy died, they repackaged him and said he was Grombrindle. They painted his beard white, they changed the color scheme, and they sold you him as Grombrindle. Which I actually do have, crazily enough. Yeah. Which, I mean, that's what he kind of does, though. He, like, takes the form of, you know, certain people. At least in Age of Sigmar. You know, he appears as, like, a wise old Longbeard, or as, like, a Caradron fleet captain, or God knows what. I don't know. He just shows up. So it's a possibility, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played Old World, as I said, but everything I've seen on Slayers, they just seem pretty garbage. It's like way too many points for nothing. It's like they should be very killy and tie things up, but die very fast. Because even in the new book, people were hoping for, like, tattoos on Slayers. And you can get tattoos, but they don't go on Slayers. They go on Doomseekers, and they go on the Slayer characters. So your generic Slayers are still shit. Like, you can buff them with the Bugman's Cart for +1 move. You can give them fucking blasting charges, like stand and shoot, stuff like that, but it's not really... It's not really anything. Like the fact that they don't even have like a 6-up against shooting or something, like a Grimnir ward save or something, like fucking hell. Oh, it takes a long time to get through this army, that's why. When you're doing a 2,000 point army from scratch, it takes forever. Like a 2,000 point army is something you do over a few years. Unless you just want to build everything overnight and play, go for it, but that's not really my thing. Can't wait to get more Glade Guard. Didn't they have those in Age of Sigmar? Couldn't you have just bought them? But you would have had to, like, purchase square bases. It's like, I really want to play Old World, but I don't have the time. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Well, when they come back, pick them up for Old World. It's worth the wait instead of buying, like, plastic bases separate, because they're going to come with plastic bases. Square ones, I mean. I had to go through and order a bunch of bases a while ago. And, kind of glad I did, because I should basically have all the bases I need for everything. It's like 125 mils. I have, like, the cannon base, the fucking anvil base that I'm going to put it on. Well, Sons of Behemoth was, yeah, that's just giants. It's just like knights in 40k, right? Like, you can really just do, you can do an army in, like, 2 seconds. 60 Wood Elf Infantry. Yeah, good luck. I guess that's a bonus for selling all of my stuff and then getting back into it, you know? Still having the minis, but no square bases. Because, like, I don't have to rebase anything, I just have to build them now. Sometimes you do keep the good stuff. What rules? Four to 5 edition Wood Elf characters. Yeah, that's cool. I got all the dwarf characters. A lot of those older medals are pretty expensive. Until they get re-released. And then they're still expensive. I'm impatient. Yeah, I can show you. So, for a bit of context, I haven't been here on this channel for about 5 years. Working on Warhammer. Consistently. I've test painted upwards of 3 miniatures in 5 years. Okay? The last time I did any crazy Warhammering was probably 8 to 9 years ago. No, I've been here scraping stuff, but, like, I wasn't able to finish anything because I wasn't here all the time. And when you do Warhammer, you need to be doing something all the time if you want to get it done. Like, this hobby is not... This hobby could be go, let's just get it done in a weekend, or it could be I spent $300 on miniatures, and I want to take my time and make it worth the $300, you know? Because, like, when I would be building an army over the weekend, a box of goblins, dwarves over the weekend, me and my buddy, we'd sit in his basement, and we'd be fucking blasting, like, Tenacious D or something, and we'd, like, literally hastily chop stuff up, cut it out, glue it, go play Xbox. Come back, fucking goblin's got a mold line through his fucking forehead. An orc has, like, a sprue bit the size of, like, the torso itself still stuck on it. So, you know, I had my fair share of, like, quickly building things for gameplay, and that was when I was a lot younger. But now that I'm almost 30, I kind of just want to, like, take my time, slow burn it. I have the vision in my head of how I know everything should look, and so for that reason, I'm taking it slow. I don't want to be disappointed when I'm done everything. But yeah, in 3 years, sorry, 5 years, I test painted one Lord of the Rings Dwarf Warrior with like the old Khazad-dûm scheme from like the Shadow and Flame supplement. I think I got the green wrong, but whatever. Close enough. That was a test paint for fun. And then I did one Dwarf Warrior as a test paint for fun. I haven't finished much. It's been so long. And then there was this guy, which I was getting around to, but I never did anything. So yeah. Once I can successfully glue everything, base everything, and sit in front of a 2,000 point army, ready to get paint, then I'm going to start pinning a bunch of just random Dwarf Warriors, random Thunderers, whatever it may be, and I'm just going to paint. I'm going to paint for like a month straight, hone in on a few things I want to get better at, and then once I'm satisfied, throw it into the army. But they look okay. I mean, for test paints and like 3 minis in 5 years, like actually 3 minis in 5 years, 2 complete, 1 not, they look pretty okay for someone who doesn't really paint too often, I guess. Put more details on the Lord. See, the thing is, my problem is I would put the exact amount of details on a Lord as I would a basic chaff unit. A Dwarf Warrior would get as much detailing as like my HQ, and vice versa. That's just how I am. I like the art of it. I like the creation and kind of seeing everything in like the best possible light if I can. But no one's ever satisfied with what they do. You could fucking like paint, be the best in the world, and still hate yourself and what you do. Not hate yourself, but like your work, you know? You can look at all the problems. Because you know where they are, but other people might not. But yeah. I don't want to do the rest. Well, test paint, dude. Test paint it. That's the reason I'm not trying to initially paint something like this. Like, I've been working on these Ranger conversions for probably a week straight. I've got a bunch of bits coming in for, like, backpacks and, you know, outdoorsy materials like rope and pickaxes and spades and stuff like that. But I'm not hastily going to rush through these, right? Like, I'm pretty methodical, I guess, with how I know I want to do them, and then when it comes to painting, it's still going to take a bit of time. But I'm going to say, if I can hone in on... Because here's the biggest thing. The good thing with the old world is that it's slowly building itself back up, and the only real content change is getting an arcane journal and then maybe getting an FAQ. The FAQs I don't think matter too much. It's just slight tweaks or, you know, rules changes, whatever it may be. But I don't think it's enough to be like, okay, this unit sucks, take something else, usually. So, with the Arcane Journal, the Forces of Fantasy, the 2 books, you're pretty consistent on, like, what list you want to build. You don't have to keep changing it. And, that's a good thing, you know? Just put shit on the table, play it. If it's great, good. If not, well, back to the drawing board. Wait, what the fuck am I doing? But yeah. As long as you yourself are satisfied with the army and what you've done, that's all that matters. The hobby isn't really meant for anyone else. You're just kind of like, you know, you want to be happy with what you put on the table. You're always happy to see other people's shit, but then you're always worried about your own, just because you think it could be better. That's just being human. Yeah, I mean, not liking what you've done is pretty typical for like Warhammer painters, or just painters in general, I find. I think the idea is understanding when enough is enough. I feel like if you want to succeed as anyone in art, you just need to know when to stop and when to be realistically satisfied with what you've done, if that's even possible. Like, when do I put the brush down? Because I had that problem a long time ago when I painted. I still have one unit from my childhood. So this was from the Battle for Skull Pass, which I believe was, what, 2006? I was 12. No, I was 10. So 4, 96, 6, 10, 10, 11, something like that. And I still have one unit from that whole box set that I painted. And I remember even at, like, that age, I would still go back in and be like, I gotta tweak this, I gotta tweak this, I have to do something different. And I would sit there and just paint the living fuck out of them. And I mean, they look okay, but I can kind of remember sitting there, like, obsessing over just random stupid details. Yeah. But, again, Warhammer was, like, very much my childhood. A lot of art-related stuff in general. But, you know, it looked good for 10 years old. It's like 10 or 11-ish, yeah. It's just what I grew up on. Even before this, I was painting Warhammer. As crazy as that sounds. I had the square-based Ogren, I had the fucking, like, metal Hellhound. I had, God, fuck, I don't even know, the Easterlings at some point, like, 2006. Same year, actually, was Games Day. And, I don't know, you just kind of get into something and you're just good, or, you know, you work up to it. So. Might have been 2009. When did Skull Pass come out? Well, it wasn't a metal Hellhound, it was a metal... It was when they were doing metal bits on plastic miniatures. So, like, the metal Hellhound was... The tanks on its back were metal, but everything else was plastic. And it was also the time when, like, you actually had to build the treads of the tank. So, like, you know how guard tanks come together now, where it's, like, left and right piece, and there's these nubs, and you push them together, and then the tread lays over the nubs? If you know guard tanks, I think that's exactly how they work now. The older version had you putting, I don't know the term for it, you basically would build the inner workings of the fucking, like, tread system. So you'd have all of these, like, cylinders that you'd lay in that the treads would lay on. It was a nightmare. Like, you'd have to glue, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like, 15 of them or something. Some bullshit number. Then you glue them together. Then you lay the treads. As a kid, Jesus Christ. Good luck. Good luck. What a nightmare. No fun. I was always pissed off at gluing stuff. Or, even when... I remember one year I got, like, the old Orc Dreadnought. It was, one box, but it came in full metal. And if you're a kid and you don't know how to pin, or, like, use a pin drill and, you know, like, put paper clips in, good luck. What a nightmare. Yeah, good times with Warhammer. Cool fucking hobby. I wouldn't have the attention span to put 10 gears together. I did. Again, I loved Warhammer, and me and my buddy would, like, build stuff every weekend and go play games. I'd hang out at the Games Workshop. I remember going in there, and I remember being a child and going into a GW with, like, at the time I was obsessed with Stewie Griffin, I think. I had, like, a Stewie Griffin t-shirt and a hat, and I ran in, and the guy's like, oh my god, you're a big fan of Family Guy, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I want some Gretchen, or some weird shit. Weird, man. Weird core memories. His wife painted all the minis. Hey, I mean, my girlfriend likes painting. I don't think I'd want her to paint my stuff just because I want to do my own stuff, but who knows, man. Yeah. It's not like I don't trust you, because she's got like an art degree and all this other stuff. She just does art all day for a living. She just knows what's up with color theory and all that stuff. Like, she's never painted a mini. Let me just show you this. She has never painted a mini, and these were some of her first when she did. Oh, wait, I actually stood up with the wrong camera on. Did you see my belly? No, my titties! Yeah, these were some of her first minis. And she's never painted a mini. Ever. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. No. Yeah. So, I'm like, why don't you continue? She's like, I don't want to paint 20 chaff units. I'm like, you will paint 20 chaff units. I'm going to try and convince her to play, like, what was it? I want to convince her to play, Spearhead. She could do commissions, absolutely. You know what she did, though? We did sell commissions, so when Elden Ring first came out, you know the fucking pot guy? Here, let me turn the right camera off so you don't see my girth. My boobies. Okay. Oops. So, when Elden Ring first came out, there was an STL of, like, a pot guy. And she would, like, build and paint them and sell them. And we sold maybe, like, 5 of them. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. People were wanting these, like, 24/7. They're like, I want one, I want one, I want one. Fucking $100 each. $70 each. So she did a bunch of them. She sold them. Yeah. So, that's what it was. That's the only thing commission-wise we've done. Mostly she's done. Good editing as always. Yes, sir. The thing is, though, commission painting is very tedious. And, she works and I work, and there's, like, no way to do it. And it would be more of, like, a tabletop standard. It wouldn't be, oh my god, Golden Demon ready. But again, there's, like, literally no time. I'm competition painting right now. See, I'd like to do that eventually, but I just don't. I don't have the resources. I don't have the time. Oh yeah, like, stuff like that probably costs maybe $4 to make, but so does Games Workshop kits. How much do you think this costs to produce? This piece of shit. 20 cents, $1. They sell it for 50, 45. Right? The packaging is worth more than this. Seriously. So, yeah. Like, they make bank. Oh, you're commission painting. Oh, that's cool. It's good money. It just takes a while. I feel like commission painting would be so easy if you knew how to paint, like, relatively well. Commission painting would be so liberating because you're doing it for someone else. And so you know, like, in doing so, it's not going to weigh you down. You just do your absolute best. It's what they paid you for. It's what they like. And everything you think is a problem, to them is a bonus. It's like, that's amazing. That looks great. I love it. And in your mind, you're like, oh, I could have blended it perfectly. I could have done this and that. But it still is amazing, you know? It's liberating to not have to look at your own work, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. It's not that you're scamming people. What is? Well, I mean, I think GW kind of knows what they have to price things at, and if people keep buying it, that's what it's worth. Like, yeah, it just must feel so liberating to paint for other people. Because for me, I would be able to do it in a heartbeat. I'm like, let's fucking put paint down, let's make it look amazing. For me, I'm like, it's horrible. I painted the eyes wrong. I gotta sit there for 30 fucking years. But yeah, I mean, cheaper Warhammer would be nice, but we know, again, Games Workshop, price increases and people being addicted to Warhammer, and that's just how the world works, so you're more than likely going to see me as the next US president than you are going to see Warhammer cheaper. Like, it's just not going to happen. I use Tamiya extra thin and like sprue goo. My thicker version of glue, what I've been using lately is sprue goo to like push torsos together, like as an example, front and back of this guy. I'd use sprue goo. Seems like a better bond, just chunkier. It's plastic melting plastic into plastic. It would be plastic on plastic, melting them both together, but it's like melting plastic, and then it melts both sides into the plastic. Even more mushy. So, that's what it is. How the fuck do you clean inside this crossbow? Oh my lord, brother. What a fucking nightmare. What the fuck? For Honor's a good game. For Honor's a cool game. I wish it was cooler. I wish they stuck with it. Apparently it got pretty terrible. Putting an iron weld cannon together. See, I was gonna do that as well, because my initial idea for Spearhead was to do cities, and then I saw the box contents, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want mounted dwarves on like rams, and instead of that, I said, let's just do Caradron. So We are doing Caradron Overlords for Spearhead instead of Cities. Cities would have been cooler, like that box, if it had Fusiliers. Maybe no mounted troops, personally. I'm not really a fan of cavalry. Subjectively, of course. Not my favorite thing. If you go to bed, come down here to come back. I mean, I'm surprised people still play that game. Like, I haven't heard of anything For Honor since it came out, I'm not gonna lie. If I was to keep playing it, I'd probably play Vikings, but I don't really want to. And again, not to mention it's fucking Ubisoft. Ay, ay, ay. Ubi shite. $3,500 is pretty good. Crossplay is great, yeah. You need crossplay. 100%, you need it. The fact that some fighting games don't have crossplay is so delusional. What an absolute joke. Fighting games die faster because they're isolated. You don't have enough players. And for the longest time, every fighting game was just so much more popular on PlayStation. And it's like if you wanted to play a fighting game, you'd always play on PlayStation. You wouldn't play on Xbox. Even PC. PC ports were like completely dead. But crossplay is amazing. The Shijoki, the fat, what is he, Japanese? It's the fat, like, Japanese guy. Yeah, it's not really my thing. I'd go Vikings. I think I played a Berserker and I played a Raider. Or who was the big tanky guy? Fighting games harder for you or League? Well, League is harder because you rely on other people to fucking, play the game for you. Fighting games are hard because people are good. Warlord? Yeah. League is like delusional fake hard. Because other people's problems become your problems, and that doesn't mean you're bad, that means you're unlucky. Whereas in a fighting game, you're more so bad than you are unlucky. So there's a big difference. That makes sense, right? I don't think I would explain it any other way. I mean, kind of a waste of money to go to Vegas. I don't gamble. I don't really drink. I don't want to go eat steak dinners. What would you rate Dead Space 1 to 10? I mean, how about a fucking 2 for $200 bill for breaking my PC? Pretty good game, though. Yeah, my PC fucking completely died. My PSU snapped. Fucking popped and blew up. I had it repaired this morning. Sent on my way. And yeah, thankfully I have it back, and it seems to be working. It's just powered down right now. Thankfully. I have no interest in playing anything tonight on it. I want it to chill. Tomorrow I will be streaming League all day. And I will enjoy it because I can finally play games. No, I've already repaired the PC. You just repair... You replace the PSU. I'm like, please, I'm a streamer. My lifeline is my computer, please. Okay, sir. I will do the best I can. Here you go. Sweet. You know, I was kind of having withdrawals. I really wanted to play Dead Space and finish it, but, like, I'm too much of a pussy right now. Maybe when my other PSU, like, arrives through warranty, because thankfully it was still under warranty for, like, I don't know, less than a month. Great, but until then, we're using the paid-for PSU. Oh, it's solved, thankfully. I mean, I do play tabletop, but, like, I haven't played in a while. I don't have a group of people I play with. The last time I played it was just a bunch of, like, pickup games. Either you go into a store and you're like, hey, let's go, or you... through Tabletop Sim, you just kind of, like, look for a game. You're, like, looking for 2,000 points, blah, blah, blah. I just paint the minis. Why are many supports in my games building Warmog's Rush? It's just a good item. I guess you're able to obtain the HP bonus for the passive to work, and you're just too tanky because you have too much HP, so you just don't die. I think that's it. That's like the most common build. Support item in Rune is enough? Exactly, that's why. Probably just super convenient to be able to, basically just stack the passive, and you're good to go. I think we're almost done with this. This is the last crossbow, and once I'm done the last crossbow, there's kind of nothing else to do for now. I could work on Caradron conversions. I can maybe cook up some engineering dudes, possibly. Well, you'd have to send it through Discord, just in the memes channel. You can't really... Unless it's like a text one. What? I guess it is text, eh? It's copy pasta. Fucking hell, I'm tired. Fucking hell. I mean, that's not the best I've seen. It's alright. Like, it's... Okay. Alright. I get it. He was biding his time and he wanted to get a cup of joe. Oh my god. Lyrical fucking genius. Yeah, I did hear about that, though. Who was running the country? He's unfit. What is that? But now we get Trump. More like Rump. Then Kamala Harris. What is going on, America? Yeah, U.S. politics do not concern me. I am Canadian. We have our own problems, and I put my faith in the dwarves to set me aside from those problems. God bless the Dowie. Chaff units. How much gold did the PSU set you back? Like 170 after tax. But that was Canadian. $170. Everyone I had talked to had no idea what was wrong with my PC. I figured, like, Ivana would just know immediately. My brother would know, because they both kind of work on PCs, but they're like, we genuinely have no clue. I'm like, yeah, that sucks. Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, the diagnosis was covered. It was free to look into it because I had warranty. It was just the part itself wasn't free. And the guy looked into it. He says, you know, all your parts are running perfectly fine. Nothing broke. It really did just look like the PSU just went, and that's it. And thankfully that was it from what I've seen. Because, like, the issue is, if it was past the PSU and if it was something else, that would be fucking awful. Then my PC would be gone for a month. And there's no way I want to pull my Warhammer PC and put it on my main channel. Or rather, I was ready to put the stream key in on this PC, and I would play League from this setup. I'd move the camera, I'd move the light, I'd move everything off the desk, and this would be the League PC for like a month. That's exactly what it would be. I'm fucking glad it's not. Saves my ass. Running Dead Space again wouldn't hurt. Yeah, but see, I've now got PTSD, so... yeah. I've got PTSD. I'm gonna have to warm up to that idea. I don't think I'm gonna turn on Dead Space immediately and crank the fucking gameplay the second my PC's back. I think I don't want to do that. Not yet. Like, even if it wasn't the issue, I'd still kind of put that on the back burner for a little bit, you know? Just a little bit. Yes, my PC's returned to me. Time to go break it. It's like I normally never have PC problems, like, ever. Man. Without the new bits that I've ordered, I don't think I can finish the Rangers anytime soon. Maybe the bits come in at, like, the end of this week, but... maybe I can shave, I gotta shave these chunks of hair off the, beards. Or not the beards, the fucking cloaks. Maybe do that. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll just chop it up, shave it down. Would be wise. Okay, is this done? Fucking there's a mochi hair. Why is there a random fucking mochi hair in my brush? Get the fuck out of here, mochi. Bastard dog. Mochi's with me even when I'm doing Warhammer. God bless that little buddy. He actually misses me. I feel like he just beats me up because he's trying to be like the alpha. But every time I leave and I come back and I walk into the living room, he's always there to greet me. Because he's totally a fucking mama's boy. He doesn't really want anything to do with me sometimes. And when I come back, he runs over to me and like wags his tail and like starts jumping up on my leg. Yeah, I love him. He's a little baby. Do you do escape rooms? North York has some good ones. I mean, not really, but if the intention was to go out and like try things, I'd totally do it. It's just there hasn't been that intention for a while. Hey man, in this economy, anything but rent and Warhammer is sacrilegious. It's a setback. It's the sad truth. Mochi brushed his bum on it. I hope not. I don't think he has posable thumbs to pick this up. I think this is good for now. Like, finishing the crossbows was definitely the worst part of the build. Easily the worst part. Cool. So we should have 10 crossbows. Let's see if we have 10 crossbows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. 10 crossbows. Great. Basically mostly clean. Which means now we gotta chop some hair off to be able to make room for cloaks. Or rather, hoods? Hoods. How do I want to do this? So... I think we... chop it like... That should be good. Cool. Alrighty. Now I just need to chop all this hair off. Smooth it out. And... when the time comes, I can green stuff hoods onto heads, and we are Gucci. This fucking blade is so dog shit and dull. Like, what? Thanks. Kind of a dog shit blade, actually. Like, really bad. For some reason, I've noticed all these blades that I've been using have been getting dull so fast. I don't know why. And garbage. Holy fuck. Oh, I have water. Thank God. I completely forgot I have a water. I'm so thirsty. Water! Thank God. Okay. This really is... How are these blades so fucking shit? This blade is garbage. Piece of shit. Maybe it's me dipping it in the water. Holy shit, so much better. Well, it is so much easier with a sharp blade. Holy moly, no shit. Feels great. So from that, I just gotta sand it down. And... I'm sanding it down. It should be good for a hood. Basically just that. Hmm. Cool. I think that's as smooth, mostly, as it's going to get. Unless I can actually... Right there is kind of weird. Hmm. Now I just need a torso bit. And I can see what it looks like for the torso. Oh yeah. And then you put a hood over that, and it would look pretty alright. Not bad. Okay. So is this doable? What this guy? Pro specs. I think these are like working glasses or something. I have no idea. Like fucking Home Depot glasses. They're not magnification. Like that. They are not magnification. Okay. I can start doing torsos. Cool. Latusi. Continue. The Rangers are always problematic. Inhale the microplastics. Yep. All I want to do is inhale a good night's fucking sleep today. Get a fresh day, fresh brand new stream tomorrow. Play some good old League. Life will be good. Basically. Yeah, sure, that works. Well, it's back now, so that's all that matters. You gotta weather the storm. Things are terrible, and things get better, and then things hopefully stay better, you know? Life is sometimes real fucking shit. You just pray that it stops being real fucking shit. Yeah, I need some actual fucking music. I'm falling asleep. Jesus, give me fucking tunes! Give me the Dowie tunes. You know, the one thing I don't do on this channel is blast music, and that's probably why I end up falling asleep so fast. I remember I used to work on Warhammer while blasting fucking music, like, through my skull. On my stereo. Why do you like dwarves so much? I feel like one might say grudges or, you know, this honor between fellow dwarves and whatnot, but I think for me it's like the family aspect, the crafting, honoring those who kind of came before you. Like the warfare, the grudges, they're great. But there's a certain sense of hominess to dwarves that the other Warhammer races kind of don't have. You know? Like, who doesn't love their fucking grandmother? You know what I mean? Who doesn't miss loved ones? And it's not that, you know, oh, the Empire doesn't care as much, but the dwarves kind of, like, take that shit to the next level. The dwarf accent. The accent. I mean, dwarves are just kind of like a very well fleshed out race within fantasy. They've got an entire language, they've got an alphabet, they've got tons of lore. Just tons of background fluff. And all of it's cool as fuck. Like, they've got their problems. Greedy. Very racist. But, you know, in Warhammer Fantasy, everyone's kind of a racist. Dwarves are just a very, very, very easy faction to love. Because a lot of what they are, it's kind of like an echo of what we value as well. They just kind of take it to the extreme, you know? It's like, yeah, we love money, but they really love money. They love their ancestors and their heritage and everything. As do we. But they really love that shit. Of course, there's aspects that aren't as good. But for the most part, semi-relatable. We just value the same things, they just do it a little bit more. You only mention the good things. I mean, I feel like it's mostly just good things. I don't want to be a dwarf. I don't wake up and think, damn, society would be better if we followed, like, dwarven society or anything, but I think they're just really fucking cool. Especially in the space of, like, Warhammer Fantasy, where they're able to just kind of, like, exist and create and make things that are so beyond their setting's capabilities. It's really cool. The other PC is saved, yeah. Not again. No. It's on autoplay because there's only one song. What? Okay. Holy moly, what time is it? 9:30? Okay. Power supply. Power supply broke. Never turned back on. Went today. 160, 70 bucks later. We're good. Power supply was dead. It's dead. So right now, my other PC is just Bing chilling. They quoted me I had to wait fucking 2 weeks to get it done. It was 1 day. Thank God. Nothing better than waiting a single day to get your PC back. Excellent. 2 weeks without income, yikes. Yeah, I mean, I could stream from this PC, the League of Legends stuff, but, like, it's not convenient. It would feel like 2 weeks with no money, yes, which is bad. That's not good. this channel rakes in enough to either buy groceries for a week and a half or buy like a little bit of Warhammer. So it does a little bit. You know, this channel ain't so shabby. Not the best, but you know, it supplies a bit of money. IRL streams. Nah, I mean, I would have this PC. I'd just stream on this PC. Even though I explicitly don't want to stream games on this PC because, like, I deleted Vanguard, I deleted League. I deleted all of my games on this PC. Should be this week sometime. I'm still waiting for, like, confirmation. I mean, it's like a day break, 2-day break. Which, it's not bad, but, you know, we're going to be playing League tomorrow, and I actually kind of miss it. I did like playing Dead Space, but you always get that itch for League. You really, really, really do. The itch. I mean, the MMO is a good bet for, like, not playing League as much. If the MMO ever comes out. That's like saying, will you die one day? It's like, well, no shit. Nothing's forever. One day, nobody's gonna play League. One day, the world's gonna cease to exist. One day, the dwarves will be no more. No, my beloved Dowie. Why must they take you away from me? Dowie, my beloved. There's no playlist. It's just an album. Scorpion Glanny. I do not have a playlist. We're all gonna enter the rift for real? I hope not. If I die, leave me in peace. Imagine waking up in Summoner's Rift. I mean, that's just hell. That's literally what it is. If you believe in heaven and hell, well, you made it to hell. You did not make it to some, like, void or alternate reality. You're just in hell. Enjoy your stay. I think I was supposed to cut this braid off. Yeah, I think I will. I cleaned the braid just to cut it off. Rip. Silly me, I'm an idiot. Hopefully not the Void, then. There you go. Whatever happens, you want to rest. No league in the afterlife, please God. Imagine dying, waking up, thinking you're in heaven, and you're literally staring down Tristana midlane. You look down, you've got a cutlass, you've got a pistol. It's over. It is Jover. What would you do if James' Workshop made dwarves real? What? You know they would want nothing to do with us, right? Actually, false. They typically fuck with humans, but like... Imagine if there was another race on this planet, like an actual alien race coexisting with us, and we were well aware of it, kind of like District 9. What would that even be like? Sounds freaky. We'd be the dumber species. I mean, you never know. They could already be among us. We would never know. Oh yeah, but what if they were peaceful? I mean, we're gonna... If the Earth ever goes out, it's not aliens, it's not fucking like some external force. It's just us being fucking degenerate idiots and hating everyone, and we just blow each other up with nukes. Like, that's, yeah. It is what it is. Mochi would live. Mochi's eternal. Nothing would ever happen to my boy. My baby boy, Mochi. I love you. I'll sit there praising Mochi, kissing him, loving him, and then he turns around, shits on my floor, and tries to hump me. Fucking rat. Bastard dog. But he's so cute. Alien Romulus seems promising. I hope it is. You know, the trailer literally shows everyone dying and all this stupid shit, but like, yeah. Who knows? Who knows? his torso is mostly done. Chopping off the braid gives him, like, a different silhouette. And it looks completely normal, because, like, the beard is... Why would he just have a random fucking, like, braided beard bit hanging off to the side when it's not even in the center of his beard? Looks pretty good. And you can actually have the quiver properly where it should be, which is realistically here. Which looks terrible because it's so fucking big. Maybe if I chopped it ever so slightly to fit into there, and then green stuffed a bit of a bump on the cloak, that could look good. I don't like that. We'll see. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what they wanted to do with Aliens Romulus, was make it more horrifying and like, what the fuck? And those things are what the fuck? It's just a matter of trailers showing too much. That's the biggest problem. We literally see people dying in the trailer, and we know exactly how they die and who they are. Complete garbage. Garbage trailer. It just spoils the whole fucking movie. It's trash. Couldn't they have left it a bit more ambiguous instead of just straight up giving you scenes? Give the people less. You know, tease the xenomorph and tease this and tease that, but, like, stop showing the whole movie. Ideally. I need to get more of these, anyone use, like, sanding sponges? I feel like if you do Gundams or any typical, like, miniature hobbying or whittling, to a degree, you probably use sanding sponges. I gotta see if Amazon sells, like, 1,000 grit sanding sponges, because I think I ended up buying, like, a bunch of variety packs. This shit is useless, though. Varietied sanding sponges are a complete waste of money. Who the fuck is gonna use 10,000 grit on Warhammer? You use 400, your shit's scraped to shit, it's gone. There's like 240 useless, 2,000 kind of okay, actually. 8,000, like, no, it's garbage. 2,000 is actually okay, though, but that's severe. 120 on Warhammer is literally killing it. Is this 1,000? Nope. 8,000. The weirdest thing is that some people use these on, like, Gundams. Again, I don't really know about being so abrasive on plastic, because you will scrape it to shit. But 1,000 is perfect. Spot paint removing? You won't even scrape the thing. 10,000 is, like, severe. 1,000 is leaving no surface dings, but sanding it well. It's the grit. So, like, I guess you'd say 10,000 is, like, more particles on here, so it's finer, whereas 240 is, like, less particles, so it's more abrasive. 1,000 to me is the perfect sweet spot. Like, it smooths it, and it doesn't leave marks. So 10,000 is ridiculous. 10,000 is absurd. You'll leave scratches if you do 800. So imagine going down to 240 or like 100, and then it'll be perfectly smooth with 1,000. But imagine doing 10,000. If you're doing like some glass finish, like literal mirror reflection, you know, setup, you may just keep going up and up and up and up all the way to 10K, but like, no one does that. Like, demons do that. Serial killers, like Patrick Bateman doing Warhammer, would do 10,000. This morning I sanded down a dwarven cloak with a mere 1,000 sand grit paper, and then I went up all the way to 10,000, doing slow rotations with the wrist. It's like, no. It's weird. Yeah, 1,000 is perfect. No, some people do it. I've seen some people actually do that shit on Gundams and whatnot, because, like, a lot of their work is paneling. But that is... I feel like that's more of, like, an OCD thing. You know? You can oversand it. Reversing... Well, it's easier to... So the idea of sanding and doing anything miniature-wise is you do it in small amounts. You don't want to be too, I guess, into it, because the more you take away, it's harder to kind of put it back, you know? There's a saying that goes along with it. Well, less is more, first of all, but also, like an actual saying. It is easier to take away, but harder to put back. Something like that. So, ideally, you just kind of, you know, be slow with it, be cautious, always be looking. It's like, okay, that looks good, that looks better. That's about right. Good. Smooth, right? Can't see any blemishes. Maybe like little dings and whatnot, but that's just from the sculpt. Cool. Warhammer in general, over 20 years. Like roughly 20-ish, 21 years. Most likely around that. When I was like at least 7, 8, something like that. I've been always kind of messing with some sort of Warhammer. Warhammer has been in my life longer than gaming. Actually, no, false. Because I'm pretty sure I had like a PlayStation 1, a shitty fucking Windows XP thing. But, like, you know, a few years later, you stumble across Warhammer from, like, your stepbrothers, and you like Lord of the Rings as a kid, you're like, damn, what is that? Give me the goblins, give me the dwarves, give me the men of Gondor, give me the Rohan. Or rather, the Rohirrim. So. Yeah, it's cool. Warhammer is typically like a lifelong hobby. There is so much to consume and to do, and if you've got good memories from when you were young, it's even better, which I do, thankfully. So, there is a lot to enjoy. Like, I was the only kid at the softball games who was reading, like, the 4th edition fucking 40K rulebook, you know? Looking over the pictures, thinking I was gonna play a game. Imagining all the battles in my head, like, oh my god, that's so cool. Inflation hit everything, dude. Inflation on top of Games Workshop just outright, like, increasing their prices. Like, yes. I mean, you just grow up with something. I think if you grow up with Warhammer, most memories from, like, around the world would be kind of the same. Yeah, Warhammer, Lord of the Rings, yes. See, I was into that, but I was also into, like, military things, because I like G.I. Joe. I like small soldiers. I liked Sarge's Heroes, and I liked, you know, little plastic army men. So I had to do 40K. 40K and Imperial Guard. The Guard were... It was like the Guard and the Orcs for 40K for a while. I love the Orcs. I think this is okay for now to just kind of put down soon. I've never liked Skaven. The furthest I've gone into, like, degeneracy was goblins. I always thought goblins were cool, but not Skaven. I genuinely just don't like them. It's not like dwarf roleplay. I just think they're kind of annoying, and they need to die, and they're worth nothing. From, like, an objective lore standpoint, very cool, very original. Very Warhammer. Specifically Warhammer Fantasy, because they're goofy as fuck. But I just don't like them subjectively. Like, objectively, everyone likes Skaven. That's, like... Okay, it's hard to explain, but they're original, right? Like, their ideas and how they work and all that crap, it's just a one-off. Like, where would you ever see this elsewhere? I can respect it, I can appreciate it, but I would never have a Skaven army. I think they make excellent bad guys, but they're worthless, deplorable little, you know, backstabbing freaks. I'm glad they exist, because Warhammer needs more, and Skaven do bring a lot to the table, but I don't like them. Well, D&D is a little bit more lenient with stuff. I'm not really a fan of D&D. Too much of us is in D&D, and I like Warhammer for the fact that it's so alien. I don't like games where we kind of get like a mirrored image of our reality in a game. But D&D is about role-playing, and that's why it's that way. Like, for me, orcs have to be alien, dwarves have to be alien. You know, all these other races are literally alien. I don't want them relating to us in, like, those ways. Go back to 2nd and 3rd edition. I'm not playing D&D no matter what. Fungi? Well, there's no orc women. So how would you reproduce? You lay eggs? It's always said that you could never get rid of orcs. Once they've died and their spores have kind of, like, sunken into the ground, there will always be orcs on that planet until you kind of, like, blow the planet up a little bit, you know? They're funky. Pretty sure... I don't know how exactly they made their way into 40k, like the origin, but in fantasy, they're like an actual weapon. Actually, you know what? I think in 40k they were a weapon as well, right? They were made by the old ones to kind of like combat the Necrons. I believe that's exactly what they were. They were made for war, and over time they've kind of just been, yeah. Yep. That's kind of a weird, like, I mean, yeah, it's a little funky. It's cool, though. See, not many people who like orcs will think back to that. Everyone who likes orcs are, like, they're loud, they're fast, they're violent, they're a little bit goofy. You know, very ramshackle in, like, everything they do. And they're just overall cool. Like, their origins are, I'm sure in most cases, not really talked about as to why you might like them. Yeah, the Crocs. Cheddar or Parmesan? Cheddar. Cheddar is way better. Cheddar is better. You know, when you order Subway, they give you like 2 options. They say fake cheddar and real cheddar, and I click the real cheddar, and they give me like some fucking plastic piece of cheese. I'm like, okay. Fake and faker. I mean, basically, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really, I don't really like orcs anymore. They're too one-dimensional. And, I think that's kind of the reason 40k just doesn't really work with me, is I can't get behind something in 40k without it just being soulless. But soulless in a sense that 40k is kind of a soulless universe with everyone permanently at war. Everyone's kind of just throwing meat into the grinder, and it's like perpetual fucking depression. And maybe I just don't like that anymore. It's like, there ain't much going on. It's even hard to root for the Votan, because the Votan just aren't even, like, they're fucking clones. Anyways. maybe I will find something in 40k to love again. Because I really did love 40k for a long time. I really, really did. I feel like, maybe some of that interest just solely came down to spectacle. It's like, how cool is 40k when you just look at it? Type of deal. I like the Grey Knights the most. Opinions on Cathay and Nippon? I don't really care about them. Not really my thing. It's cool that they exist, and they're over there, but, like, they're always just in mention, or, like, at least Cathay now has an army in Total War. It's like, oh yes, the finest silks and potions and whatnot from Cathay, and it's like, what's that? We're not going to tell you. They don't really do anything with it. Maybe they will now, right? I think they're actually supposed to be doing something with Cathay. Like, just because Total War popped the fuck off with them. Like, Total War did great with Cathay, in my opinion. I don't think they have what it takes right now, production-wise, to put them out. So, who knows? Goes to you, buddy. The more the merrier, man. Bring out every fucking fantasy faction and make it a miniature range. I will never buy any of them, but I support them. Give us plastic Chaos Dwarves. Give us plastic Cathay. Give us plastic Kislev. Give us plastic Vampire Coast. Like, give us plastic everything. And that would be a lot of money. Because making an entire new miniature range for a game that's most likely never going to sell well, outside of, like, the initial race releases, so the stuff we know from Total War, not the DLC stuff. Or I should say the stuff we know from Fantasy. Empire, Orcs, Dwarves, you know, all that shit will do fine. But introducing, like, Cathay, like, how many people are gonna like Cathay? Like, if Warhammer is available in China, over there, like, that's going to be great. That's going to make a lot of money, but I don't really see too many people into it. But it's a good addition. You know, more of it is better than nothing or less. I love watching these. Well, we're just scraping minis, brother. That's one ranger down, kind of. Ditching 3 kingdoms for Warhammer 3. I mean, Warhammer 3 just was doing really well. Or Warhammer Total War in general, I should say. 3 was kind of weird because, in my opinion, 3 has the weakest roster. Like, you get the Chaos Gods and you get Ogres. And that's it. It's like, number 2 and number 1 had everything you really wanted, and then 3 was just the rest of it. And that's fine. The game needs it. It is DLC after all, each game. It's not like a brand new standalone play one game. You kind of play all of them. At least that's how I view it, and that's kind of how it is. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I just wanted content. I don't play campaign. I don't play the chaos shit. I don't do any of that stuff. What I wanted out of 3 was more races to kill, right? Give me the fucking ogres, give me the demons, let me give them some dowie steel, right? That's all I cared about. Multiplayer factions. It's just big DLC. That's really all it is. I've never really messed with campaign outside of like 1 and 2. 3 is pretty crazy though with campaign because you get so many races in like one area. Everyone's like jam-packed. There's so much stuff going on, which is good. But campaign was never really for me. Gale, yo, buddy. I only play the Warhammer stuff. No, I don't play anything else. Favorite movie is Aliens. For sure it's Aliens. Aliens, John Carpenter's The Thing. Stuff like that. Pretty standard, I'd say, for most people. They're just great movies. Hey, from England, what are you making here? We are making Dwarf Rangers. Dwarf Ranger conversions. Good movies. Yeah, very good movies. You know who they've got coming to Comic-Con here soon? They've got John Rhys-Davies, Gimli, right? Mostly Gimli. And they have Keith David. Childs from fucking The Thing. And many more. Keith David's in everything. It's a pretty good combo. The last Comic-Con event thing I had gone to, I met Michael Biehn, so Hicks, and I met Lance Henriksen, Bishop. My girlfriend met, I think it was Billy Boyd? I believe it was Pippin. Is that Billy Boyd? Pippin? And, the guy who plays Sam. Forgot his name. Yeah, Keith David's really good. He's great. Keith David is, like, really talented. Cool. Alright, this is done for now, until I get more conversion work done. 8 more! Can't go wrong with scraping 1 billion dwarven bodies. Cool. Done. We need a torso for this one. He's the Arbiter. He's like... I believe he plays Spawn. Child's again in The Thing. He's a bunch of like different characters in cartoons, and he's in a ton of movies. Extremely recognizable. Really good. Like, you just know it's him. Like, the voice immediately will get you. Cool dude. Let's do this one. No, I play tabletop. Hordak and Masters of the Universe. He's in everything. I think I'm going to chop this to convert this. The one person I wish I could meet, but he passed away, was Bill Paxton. I wish I could meet that guy. Practical effects still a thing. So, I mean, if you want to talk about practical effects, Aliens Romulus is doing them. quite a bit of them. In the vein of, like, you know, Aliens. Just because those movies were mostly practical. All practical, actually. And, since Aliens Romulus is a prequel-sequel, or sequel-prequel, it's in right between those two movies. He wanted to do practical. Yeah, I did hear about that. That sucked. Was he just... I guess he was kind of old or had, like, complications or something. Yeah, you never know when you're gonna go, man. Cherish life. Yeah. I mean, when you get to that age, you know, you never know, right? My grandfather is 95, I think. Like, that dude's a unit. But... It's in between Alien and Aliens, yes. Aliens Romulus takes place between Aliens. It's like the proto pulse rifle and everything. Bill Paxton was in Texas Rising? That I have no idea. That I don't know. I don't even think I've seen that movie if it was. Condorio, buddy. Finish the bolt thrower. Post it in the Discord. My sister made me watch the 2022 Scream movie and I called out the killer in 15 minutes. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I also saw you went with the cobblestone. If you're doing the underway, you should throw, like, some shit all over it, like clumps of maybe debris. That's just how I would do it. You don't have to, obviously, but you could still have a very pristine-looking underway. Oh, I see it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah. I would say it looks a little flat. Maybe, like... Did you gnome wash the thing? Maybe it's the picture. Debris and moss, yeah, that would look good. Yeah. Clumps of, like, rock and stone. Rock and stone. You did? I think... I would even... I mean, this is your mini. I'm not going to tell you what to do with it. It looks to me, it looks a little bit... Like, it almost blends in with the base. You know what I mean? At least in the image. I wonder how they did it on the box. Like the bolt thrower. Dwarf bolt thrower. Oh, you're colorblind. Oh, hey, you're good, man. You're way good. Don't worry about it. I was just thinking, like, maybe if you look at the GW image, I don't know how colorblindness works on the GW image. The color, it just looks a little bit richer. Like, if you really were to dirty down the metallics and then highlight a little bit, I think it would come out looking a bit more divided, I would say. It seems like they just went really hard on the washes. Like, the thing is one fucking color, first of all. Here. Let me just open this up. There's a really good image of it. This thing. That's a great image of the side, yeah. It's basically just, like, 2 colors. 3, maybe with the bolt being black. The wood, or the rope, I think, back there. It basically just looks like Ironbreaker, Nuln Oil, and then highlight with, like, Stormhose Silver. But, like, really watered down, you know, black wash. Or not watered down, but, like, you know, heavily applied. These weren't on bases back in the day? Oh, I know. These are all on bases now for Old World. The bases look fine. The one thing I don't like is having the miniatures separate from the base. I'd prefer this to be just a mini diorama where you'd be able to glue everyone together on the base. To me, that makes more sense. It looks better. But I guess for the sake of killing crew and whatnot, like, sure. You could if you wanted to. Most people use, if you're just using GW stuff, I think it's like Seraphim Sepia for the gold. But I think going heavy on the washes on this thing is the right call. Again, just to kind of, like, distinguish different parts, because it does kind of look all like one thing. There's 2 colors. What was the Old World Dwarf Discord you were talking about the other day? Any chance you could drop us a link? It's not really a dwarf Discord, it's a fantasy Discord, but there's, like, a very vocal dwarf community within it, mostly about the rules. Like, they really... Like, these guys are... Yeah, they like dwarves. They're typing right now! Let me see if I can send the invite link. Here. That's the link. You have to send it in Discord, it won't work. What is pig's head? You bought a real pig's head? You're gonna be like the fucking saw killer? Except you're gonna stab people with, like, bolt thrower bits? How do you clean up all the plastic residue? Vacuum. A $20 vacuum off of Amazon. See? Well, I would imagine pig brains aren't very big. I don't think they're the brightest creatures. They're kind of smart, though. But, yeah, maybe not the smartest. A mini vacuum, if you do Warhammer constantly, is worth the investment. And before you say, I have no money, say that to the fucking $100 Old World box you just bought, okay? You can buy it. They're smarter than dogs. My Mochi is smarter than any fucking pig, I'll tell you. My little buddy. I mean, you can still vacuum it. It's a little bit. You could be very thorough with vacuums and whatnot, you know? Every, like, other day, I typically vacuum. Every 2 days or so. Doesn't really go anywhere. Organ, yeah, the cannon and organ gun kits are really good. I've got like 10 of them. The bits are amazing. The two dwarven kits that have the best flavorful bits are the cannon organ gun and the dwarven miners. They have the best bits. Like, the fact that the dwarven miners even came with a fucking pony and a billion, like, standalone pickaxes, it's really good. Yeah, that's good. I don't think you'll need that many, but that's good. No bits? Oh, you got the worst part then. Fuck the cannon, get the bits. You got, like, the wheelbarrow, you got all these, like, weird optics and, like a dwarven spade and different shield bits with cannons on them. You've got, like, face plates that are unique to the kit. The crew all have aprons and things. It's really good. It's very much its own kit. It's not like a shared, you know, oh, it's a generic dwarf warrior manning a cannon. It's like an actual engineer. Okay, well, there you go. You got some of it. That's really good. I've sculpted a bit. I've done a bit before. I'm alright. Could be better, but you know. Deep brassy color. Hey, do whatever, man. You can also make them, in the Arcane Journal, if you plan on playing the game, there is a different variant of cannon where they've basically stripped it down of his armor, or they've stripped it down of its armor, and they made it kind of, a little bit more maneuverable. I mean, conversion ideas. It can move and shoot, which is interesting. -1 toughness. Different ideas, maybe, you know? Make a light cannon or something, I don't know. A little bit. Cool bit. Eating dinner while seeing you scrape tiny warriors. This is the life. Is it really? Well, unfortunately, I gotta go soon. Probably in about 5 minutes or so. It's getting a little late for me, and I gotta go clean. I gotta go have dinner. The progress of this army is ever so slowly chugging along, and that's nice. Because this is the reality of Warhammer. If you want to make a 2,000-point army, this is it. I haven't read anything in a long time. Nope. I'm trying to revisit the War of Vengeance, so I'm, like, current. Because God knows my brain can, like, remember most things. So when I do have the time, I'm going to be skimming through those books again. That would be nice. So right now, I have no time to read, but I would like to. Since I'm basically disabled with color blindness, is there a good source to get paint schemes for the different holds? There is a website. So, well, first of all, the Arcane Journal should tell you what different holds are, color-wise, or maybe the map itself. Otherwise, people were coming across a site like Dwarf Karak Colors. I can link it to you. This is what a few people have been using. It does go into the canonical color of, like, the holds. Yeah, Bugman's Brewery is, it's like a dilapidated, you know, old shed, currently. But, this one was alright, yeah. Doesn't have everything, but, you know. Like, Bugman's Brewery's been... It's seen everything. I wasn't really big on Bugman's Brewery growing up, but, like, I had frequented Reddit more. But I am very well aware of many a Dwarven fan on that site. 2000s, Golden Age, and then came along every other fucking thing. So... Okay, I think I do need to go, actually. And I mean, we're not really busy here or anything, but I have to, go get some dinner. I'd like to get dinner and then clean this room up, actually, a little bit, because, like, I gotta stream tomorrow, and the floor's covered in fucking Warhammer. I have a metal stone thrower kit, the one on wheels. It doesn't seem like it got separate rules. That's just a grudge thrower. That's just like, what, the previous version of the grudge thrower? I think it was like, what, the 4th edition iteration? The 5th edition iteration? I don't know, something along those lines. Probably just the old hammer. Previous incarnation. Cleaning isn't too tiring. No, we're good. I mean, I want to fucking... Dude, I was all around today. Way too much stuff to do. And just overall kind of busy off stream, but... No, we don't really have much to do. Not tonight anymore. Cassio, buddy. We are unfortunately getting out of here. Yes, we do have to leave. Dude, I miss being a teenager. You know? Your mommy's gonna make you dinner. You just sit in your fucking room and play games all day. That was the life. Kind of a leechy life, but that was the life. And now I gotta go make my own dinner. God forbid I gotta pay taxes. I gotta wake up at 7. Oh my god, I gotta get a prostate exam. Oh my god, I'm old. Anyways. Yeah, I'm gonna be going. Everybody take care of yourselves, be well. Tomorrow we are back on the main channel. The PC was repaired in 1 fucking day. Which is awesome. I was quoted 2 to 3 weeks. Spoke over the phone. I said, listen up. The bigliest of problems just happened. I was playing Dead Space, the remake, and my PC fucking blew up. What can you do? They said, we'll send it back to the manufacturer. I said, no. Say, I bring in PC. You diagnose problem. I give you money. You give me part. Problem fixed. And we got it in 1 day. Alrighty. That's it for me, folks. Take care, stay safe, be well, have a great fucking night, and I will catch you all tomorrow, either on the main channel or here. Peace, folks. Take care.